Alright, this will document some of the changes for Ed version 4.5. Ever since this version, we were supposed to stop using the Google Maps API, so some things will be a little different, but mostly I think you'll see things did not change much. You still get the elevation readout here when you pause over a point in both feet and meters. The background maps, the Google ones have been replaced by Esri dark grays and light grays to get the dark colors. Did add a little county button down here just for quick access to the counties. And then the biggest change was probably up in the travel hazard forecast. If you click on that, when you bring this up, the GUI has changed slightly. I removed some of the extra buttons, but mainly you're not going to get as details an address as you used to, because now I'm using the MapQuest API for geolocation rather than the Google one. So when you click on and say start forecast, you won't get an actual address up here. And if you end this someplace else, like here, it's kind of broad, and sometimes you get this little message up in the right hand corner that says can't calculate the actual address. So the easiest thing is just kind of click around the point a few times and you'll get someplace fairly close to where you want to end up at. And as you can see here, my click was a little off from what it's at. There, that one's a little better. Yeah, it's not as detailed as it used to be, which is unfortunate, but at the same time, given that, I did add some extra functionality under the waypoint option here. So if you add a waypoint, you can still type in here, like I said before, you can say Denver, Colorado as a waypoint. Now it adds this down here, and now you have the ability to add a rest area, or a rest period. So what you have to do is you click on this button right here to make it blue, and this is your time and hours that you're going to rest for. And as soon as this is highlighted, you just click the rest, and it'll change and add this little parenthesis delay time. If you want to change it, you can go down and change it to some other time. And then when you do that, it'll plot your route. And when I do try to automatically find out the closest point to that if it can't find one, so I have it automatically just do something in the background, but don't worry, it'll eventually find it, and then you'll get a route. And now, as you can see, since we're stopping over in Denver for 6 hours, and if I overlay the arrive here around times on here, you can see that we're here at Denver at 2:48, and then the next leg that we go on to get to this point is 8:57 in the morning. So as you can see, this leg ends here, then the next one is about 6 hours later. So now you have a sleep in there. I did add this sample button, so sometimes your route might be a little granular. For instance, you're missing an area here, or you're missing this area here. Probably not a big deal in the grand scheme of things, but if you take this sample button and move it to the right, it'll basically create a lot more detailed route and query the map for a lot more locations. And in the end, you'll end up with a smoother route that follows the roads better than the lower density option, which might look something like this. And this is an example of where I really minimized it and did a couple corrections to get the right number of points. So that one looks like it's a double query. There you go. So it's not as pretty as before for the most part, but it does work, and hopefully this rest option here is a nice trade-off